The principle of mentalism is the cornerstone of Hermetic philosophy. It declares quite profoundly that all is mind. This means that everything in existence, every star in the cosmos, every grain of sand, every thought, every feeling, and even the very fabric of reality itself, originates from a universal mental substance. According to Hermetic teachings, the entire universe is akin to a grand mental projection, a vast thought within the mind of the all, the infinite and unknowable source of all existence. To grasp this concept, imagine that the physical world you see around you is not fundamentally solid or material. Rather, it is a manifestation of a deeper mental reality. In simple terms, everything we experience is a mental construct, not just metaphorically, but literally. This idea resonates with the belief that consciousness precedes matter, meaning that thought is the root of all creation. In practical terms, this principle invites us to consider the power of our own thoughts. If everything arises from a universal mind, then our individual minds, being microcosms of the macrocosm, also possess creative power. Every thought you think has an impact, not just on your inner state, but potentially on the outer world as well. Hermeticism teaches that by mastering our mental world, we can influence the material one. This isn't just wishful thinking. Modern science has begun to echo this ancient wisdom. Quantum physics, for instance, hints that observation and consciousness may play a role in shaping reality at the smallest scales. Similarly, psychological research confirms that beliefs and thoughts can influence behavior, health, and outcomes. While these insights don't fully explain the principle of mentalism, they suggest that the mind's influence on reality is more profound than we often realize. What's particularly striking about this principle is its invitation to personal empowerment. If the universe is mental, then our thoughts are not passive, they are creative forces. Negative, fearful, or chaotic thinking can create disharmony in our lives, while positive, focused, and purposeful thinking can shape circumstances in our favor. This is why many spiritual and philosophical traditions emphasize the cultivation of mental discipline, meditation, and visualization. Hermetic masters teach that to align with the principle of mentalism, we must become conscious of our mental habits. Every belief, every mental image, every affirmation or complaint contributes to the unfolding reality around us. By shifting our thoughts, we align with the higher order of creation. In essence, mentalism invites us to see the world not as something happening to us, but as something happening through us. We are not mere observers of reality, we are participants in its creation. When we understand this, we can take responsibility for our mental states and begin to consciously mold our lives in accordance with higher principles. This is the gateway to understanding Hermetic wisdom. By realizing that everything is mind, we unlock the potential to shape our personal universe. The principle of correspondence is one of the most powerful and thought-provoking ideas in Hermetic philosophy. It is encapsulated in the phrase, "as above, so below, as below, so above." At its core, this principle suggests that there is a direct relationship between different levels of reality, from the smallest microcosm to the vast macrocosm. The patterns, laws, and forces that govern the universe at the largest scale are reflected in the smallest and vice versa. This concept encourages us to see the unity of all things. Whether we look at the swirling galaxies of the cosmos, the intricate structure of an atom, or the complex dynamics of human thought, we can observe similar principles at work. The ancient Hermeticists believed that the universe is structured as a series of interconnected layers or planes: physical, mental, and spiritual. What happens on one plane influences the others, and each mirrors the whole in its own way. A simple example can be found in the natural world. The cycles of nature, the changing seasons, the phases of the moon, the rise and fall of the tides correspond to the rhythms of human life. The principle teaches us that by studying these natural patterns, we can gain insight into the workings of our own minds and spirits. Similarly, the inner workings of the human body reflect cosmic principles. Ancient healers and philosophers often referred to the body as a microcosm, a little universe that mirrors the larger universe. But the principle of correspondence isn't just poetic, It is practical and transformative. It invites us to understand that the outer world is a reflection of the inner world. Our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs are not isolated. They resonate with the larger reality around us. For example, a person who cultivates peace, clarity, and harmony within will often find that these qualities are reflected in their relationships and circumstances. This principle also opens the door to deeper self-knowledge. By observing the patterns of the world, the rise and fall of empires, the balance of ecosystems, the relationships between celestial bodies, we can gain insights into our own lives. If the macrocosm and microcosm reflect each other, then understanding one helps us understand the other. Interestingly, this ancient teaching has parallels in modern science. Fractals in mathematics, for instance, show that complex patterns in nature, like the branching of trees, the formation of rivers, and even the structure of human veins, follow self-similar patterns at different scales. This echoes the idea that nature is constructed on repeating patterns, just as Hermeticists have long suggested. Ultimately, the principle of correspondence calls us to look beyond the surface. It challenges us to see the connections between the seen and unseen, the large and the small, the internal and the external. When we truly grasp this, we begin to realize that we are not isolated beings in a random universe. We are integral parts of a vast, interconnected whole. This understanding leads to a deeper sense of purpose, responsibility, and harmony with the world around us. The principle of vibration teaches us that nothing in the universe stands still. Everything, no matter how solid or still it may appear, is in a constant state of motion. According to Hermetic wisdom, the universe is not a static collection of objects, but a dynamic field of vibrations, with everything from the smallest atom to the largest star pulsing with energy. As the ancient texts say, nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. This principle invites us to look at reality through a new lens. What we perceive as solid matter is, in fact, composed of particles in rapid, continuous motion. Even objects that seem lifeless, like a rock or a mountain, are made up of atoms and molecules that are vibrating at specific frequencies. Science supports this idea. Quantum physics tells us that atoms consist of electrons spinning around nuclei, and subatomic particles are never truly at rest. But the principle of vibration goes beyond the physical level. It also applies to the mental and spiritual realms. Thoughts, emotions, desires, and even consciousness itself have vibrational frequencies. Higher states of consciousness, such as love, joy, peace, and clarity, are said to resonate at higher vibrations. Lower states, like fear, anger, and confusion, resonate at denser, heavier frequencies. When we tune into a certain vibration, we begin to attract experiences, people, and circumstances that match it. In this sense, the principle reminds us that we are like tuning forks, constantly emitting and receiving vibrations. If you're vibrating at a frequency of negativity and fear, you are more likely to resonate with similar patterns in the world around you. On the other hand, by raising your vibration, through practices like meditation, positive thinking, gratitude, and conscious living, you can shift your reality and align yourself with higher possibilities. The idea of vibration also resonates with modern science and spirituality. Sound therapy, for instance, uses the vibrational properties of sound waves to promote healing and well-being. Everything, from music to colors to spoken words, carries vibrational energy. Even the ancient practice of chanting mantras relies on the vibrational power of sound to influence mental and spiritual states. Importantly, the principle of vibration teaches that change is constant and inevitable. Since everything vibrates and is in motion, nothing remains fixed. This means that even the most challenging circumstances can change. By consciously altering your mental and emotional vibrations, you can set the stage for transformation. Moreover, understanding this principle can empower you to become more resilient. When you realize that emotions and experiences are not static, but fluid, you can let go of attachments to negative states and cultivate a mindset of growth and adaptability. Life, in this sense, is a dance of vibrations, and we are both the dancers and the music. In summary, the principle of vibration reveals that everything in the universe is energy in motion. By mastering our own vibrations through awareness, intention, and conscious practice, we can influence our personal reality and align with the greater harmony of existence. This understanding is not only ancient wisdom, but a timeless key to living a more empowered and fulfilled life. As we journeyed through the profound Hermetic principles of mentalism, correspondence, and vibration, we uncovered the timeless truth that the universe is not just a mechanical collection of matter. It is an intricate dance of mind, patterns, and energy. These principles remind us that we are not separate from the cosmos, but are intimately woven into its fabric. The power of our thoughts, the mirroring of the microcosm and macrocosm, and the constant motion of energy all point to a deeper reality, that we are both the creators and the experiencers of our lives. By understanding these principles and applying them consciously, we can shift from being passive participants to active co-creators. This ancient wisdom, though thousands of years old, speaks directly to the challenges and opportunities we face today. It calls us to rise above limitations, to see the hidden connections in all things, and to align our inner world with the vast intelligence of the universe. As you move forward, remember that the keys to transformation are already within you. The Hermetic principles are not just ideas, they are invitations to live with greater awareness, purpose, and power. Unlock the ancient wisdom, live consciously, create your reality.